There's a thing called runner's high. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
I've only
Come on.
experienced it once, and
Come
I didn't
on.
know what it was until after. But I remember in middle school, I ran track. Now, I just wanted to sprint. But at practice, we would have to do sometimes like longer distance miles or more than that.
You and me both.
Man, what? I used to hate
Long
doing long
distance.
distance. Nah, I didn't want to do it. I just
Nah.
want to sprint. That's it. But for conditioning's sake, we would do that, right? And I always hated that part. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm running. And it was the weirdest thing. Again, I didn't know what this was until afterwards. I'm running. And at a certain point, I was like, I feel good. Like,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. That was the only time I've ever experienced that. But for some people, it's a thing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I enjoyed it. And it felt like I had fresh wind. I had energy. I'm running past people. Like, they like, bro, you always slower than me.
Yeah.
And
Talk about it.
It's this thing where when you run, and after you do a certain amount of running, there's a certain chemical released in your brain that actually makes it easier. I don't know all the physical stuff with it, but that's how it is with the spirit. If you just endure and push past all of that, the I don't feel like doing that. Just do it anyway. I don't feel like praying right now. Pray anyway. I don't feel like reading today. Read anyway.
Yeah.
At a certain point, once you push past that, you get to a place where you're like, bro, I need this. I want this. Like, I desire. It's not a chore anymore. It started out as a chore, but now I wake up and I'm like, okay, let me read. Now I wake up and I'm like, Lord, I want to pray.
That's
and,
good.
And then you get to a certain point where you're like, I can't live without it. You realize your dependency on it, and you're like, yo, I don't know how I was ever doing anything without God.
Yes. Oh, that's so good. Okay, so let's speak about it on the other side,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Let's speak about it on the other side. Like, okay, doing things without God or doing things that don't please God. As far as like what you feed yourself,
Yes, sir.
what you feed yourself, you will start to like it'll become normal.
Yes.
So it's like okay, this is from Earl Nightingale. He has a quote, and it's like, okay, the brain is like fertile soil. It doesn't care what you plant. You know what I'm saying? But it'll like produce like what you plant, like what you put in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
like what you continue to take in, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what's going to become normal, like to you. And so
Yes.
that works both good and bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That works on both ways. So as just like with the runner's high, I love that example, bro. Like just like what you put in as far as things of God, right? Reading the Bible, praying consistently. You know what I'm saying? Being obedient to God. The more that you do that, that'll be the more that you're putting in. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yeah.
And the more that you're putting in it and pouring into yourself and everything like that, then what comes out is going to be, fruit.
Yeah.
But fruit that is good fruit.
That's good,
You know what I'm saying?
bro. Yeah.
Because
yeah.
you're gonna produce fruit regardless.
Yeah.
You're gonna produce fruit regardless, but the kind of fruit is dependent on what you put in.
Facts. Bro, I remember I would always say this thing. Like, if I was about to make a bad decision, I'd be like, nah, that's not fruitful, right? I was reminded through the scriptures, everything bears fruit. The Bible don't say, right, like somebody that's bad doesn't produce fruit. It says a good tree produces good fruit, and a bad tree produces bad fruit.
That's the one.
But either way, you producing something.
Exactly.
And like you said, whatever you feed yourself, whatever you feed your spirit, your soul, that's what you get back in return. And so if you have an addiction, maybe it's alcohol or weed, whenever you feed that, the hunger for that grows.
Exactly.
And that's how you see how sometimes people can start out with, I'll never smoke. They smoke once.
One time.
Now they're addicted. Now the smoking ain't even enough. Now they have to move to this.
Yes.
Now you looked up and you're on hard drugs because what you fed grew. And so the opposite, like you said,
one
the
more time.
opposite
You
is true.
said what you fed.
What you fed grew. Whatever you feed, think about it. If you wanted to kill somebody without touching them, make sure they don't eat. After a long enough time, they'll die.
Yeah.
The body can only go so long without eating.
True.
And so you have the flesh and the spirit.
Or do something to what they're eating. Like, and I feel like that's what I feel like that's what the
Yeah.
enemy tries to do a lot. You know what I'm saying?
He might let you eat,
Yeah,
but he'll just let you eat bad stuff.
exactly.
He'll let you eat poison.
Exactly. That's a whole conversation in itself.
Don't let him eat,
Yeah.
or don't let him eat nothing good.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
yeah, that's good.
So that's why